Right, I'm doing a nice little bit of pork for dinner. I've got a loin of pork here with the bones off, and I kind of had to beg the butcher to leave the skin on because they don't really dig crackling over here. So I thought, you know, I'll do my English thing. Roasted meat done properly is gorgeous, but it doesn't actually take that much to make it like a completely different story. So like, my twist on this is tinned peaches, which are brilliant. So I'm just gonna get these boys open. Let's just get rid of all the old juice. So I've got one tin of peaches in here that I just want to kind of rip up each half into like little bits really. You can kind of just scrunch it, kind of just sort of do that in your hands. Alright, I've got a nice bit of butter here. It's about 150 grams. And I kind of just want to just scrunch it up, right? Just scrunch it up like that. And then what I want to do is kind of put a bit of herb in there. And as far as I'm concerned, pork, butter, peaches, thyme. And I just sort of rip off some of those lovely little tips and just get it in there really. And then nice bit of salt and pepper because you want to season it. Bit of pepper.
You weren't tempted to cook turkey?
No, turkey, I mean, I love turkey on Christmas Day, you know, but at the end of the day, it's a hard bird to cook. I've got the chef coming around today. I don't want to stitch myself up. If you look at that, right, it's all the same thickness all the way through. So, like, you cook it for an hour, 220, and you know it's going to be tender, juicy, and lovely. So, I've got 2 cloves of garlic. I'm going to finely chop it. And I'm going to get it nice and thin. And then you just want to get that into there. And then you just want to scrunch it. And it kind of looks a little bit like mush, you know? But you just want to get all those flavours mixing together. And then what I'm going to do, which I think is quite nice, is you want to get this flavour, right, into the pork, yeah? So when the pork cooks, it kind of goes like, and takes up all those flavours. So just toss the old pork round, and you've got this lovely eye meat along here. So just above the eye meat, right, not at the end, stick your knife in, just kind of down to about there in the pork, and just kind of run the knife all the way along, quite deep, you know, pretty deep actually, all the way along, but not quite to the end. So I haven't cut it to that end, and I haven't cut it to that end, but what I have got in here is a flap. See that? A little flap of meat. And you can put all this lovely flavour in there, and the peaches, and the thyme, and just imagine all that cooking. The butter will actually cook out, yeah? But on the journey out, it's going to make all this meat taste so damn good. So let's just push that in, and flap that bit of meat over. Now, just to kind of make it a little bit more interesting, I've got this streaky bacon here, and it's just lightly smoked. Lay it on like this, next to each other, and that'll kind of hold it all together like a kind of, I don't know, like a sort of bandage really. And but also at the same time, it kind of is going to really flavour the bottom of the pork and just make it taste really gorgeous. What I want to do now I've done all this is just secure it with a bit of string and just slowly tie up the meat, and you can see it crinkling up. It doesn't matter, it's not supposed to look damn pretty, it's just supposed to hold the meat and all the lovely things we put in it together, right? You don't want to do it too tight, you don't want to strangle the poor thing. We'll just cut that off, and then, now it's all sort of tied up and protected, then you can flip it, right? Now, with this leftover thyme, I'm just going to pull it off and just put some sprigs in and around, you know, the tray like that. And I've got all these, like, garlic cloves. I'll tell you what's interesting about the garlic clove is when these cook with the skin on, yeah, instead of going garlicky like in pasta or something, because it's got the skin on, they go sweet, like almost like roasting onions and stuff. And if you roast them like that with the pork, when it comes to taking the pork out and making a bit of gravy, you just burst them all, and that sweetness will also thicken the gravy and make it taste absolutely phenomenal. And then these other peaches, leave them in halves and kind of put them around the pork as well. And I just want a little bit of wine. And what that does, because that will cook away pretty much, you know, in the first 20 minutes. And whatever you do, don't put it on the skin, because obviously you want the skin to go crispy. So if you put the wine on it, it won't. But what that'll do is that'll start steaming the bottom of the pork. And as all those juices come out, like the garlic, the herbs, the peaches, they'll all kind of start making a nice little gravy. So then when the pork comes out of the oven, let it rest on a plate for like 15 minutes. Then you just get rid of the grease, put some water in there, and you've got fantastic juice. Do you know what I mean? I'm just going to put a nice bit of salt on the skin, very important, and just kind of rub that into all those little gashes. And then a little bit of olive oil, just a touch, because you just want to encourage it to start, you know, to start sort of crisping up a bit, really. So you can just kind of pat that in, and then just like, you know, move the thyme about, that'd be nice. That's going to be beautiful. About an hour and 5 minutes, 220, let it rest for 15 minutes. It'll be absolutely juicy as you like. Now, I've got some potatoes here that I've parboiled. and quite frankly, they're a little bit over, yeah? And I've done this quite a few times, you know, just at home because I've just forgotten, and you always do. So I tried this thing, which I ended up kind of calling broken potatoes. And I just squash the potatoes, and you just kind of want to break them up a bit, like that, you see? And then you want a nice bit of olive oil. Be quite generous with the olive oil, and then be generous with the salt and pepper. Give them a little shake, so you get a bit of oil in the bottom. Whack them in the oven. And I'll put these in with the pork, sit them underneath, cook them for an hour. Happy days, easy peasy, all cook at the same time.